Well, hi everyone, Sylvan Bell coming to you live from Oahu. I'm in Honolulu. Right over my shoulder, we got Waikiki, Diamond Head. February 28, 2016, flew out here to come watch the Eddie. Best sporting event I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Best sporting event. It's 5:24 in the afternoon, and I want to ask you something about rejection. And my question for you is, does rejection ever give you something more to add to your process? Does rejection ever give you an ability that you did not think of having before? Okay? I want you to think about that before you answer it. Now, one of the things that I found through coaching people, one of the things that I found from doing sales myself, is anytime that I was rejected, it gave me the opportunity to take some information from whatever that rejection was and retool. So let's just say I went through a sales process and somebody said, Scott, you know, I'm gonna go with your competitor, okay? So the right thing for me to do is go into research mode and find out why that happened, because in my world, you can't outwork me, you can only underbid me. So my questions start, trying to figure out what's going on. I pack up my stuff, I figure out why I lost the deal. I would do some forensics if they allow me to do it, okay? And let's just say that they tell me that I didn't explain something that I should have, or I missed something, and they don't allow me that opportunity to come back and explain it. So I could say that my widget is super slippery and it helps with whatever, okay? But let's just say that they had more questions about that, and because I didn't answer them the right way, they chose one of my competitors, okay? That's something that can happen. Let's say that they say, you have a product and it's got all these cool things, but it's missing one thing that I really want. Well, if I would have known that, it would have allowed me to ask better questions up front to figure out what that person would have needed to offer maybe something different, or be able to explain to them why the product, things that could work better for them, okay? So the forensic part of the rejection process is to figure out what you did wrong. And it's not necessarily that you completely screwed up. It could be that the other person had a different value situation than you did, or the person was looking for something that you didn't have to offer, right? So like a lot of times people will come to me and they say, hey, I want you to coach my guys. And then I tell them how much money it is. I let them know up front, this is what we're looking at. And they're like, hey, I don't want to pay that much. And I go through my sales process with them and they say, hey, I still don't want to pay that much. There's a point where I got to go, this guy really isn't my client. He's not the person that I'm supposed to be working with. There's somebody else out there for me, right? And it's not really rejection on the part that it was a bad thing. It was just, we didn't match up. We had cogs and, he had round cogs, I had square cogs, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen, it didn't work. And hey, you know what? That's part of the process. I'm cool with that. But, go in forensics and try to figure out what happened. Now, one of the things that you're going to find is not everything went wrong. Not everything went wrong. There was probably a couple of things that went right. There was probably a couple of things that went wrong. And the things that went wrong were bigger than the things that went right, or the things that went right didn't match up with the things that went wrong. So what you're gonna have to find is, sit down and do, is figure out what was it that you learned? What was it that you took away? What major information did you pick up? How could you change your process? What questions should you be asking? What part of the presentation are you skipping? There's something that you're missing. Now, just because you got rejected doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It could be that that person was not the right client for you. I get that. You're gonna get that too, right? So if somebody tells me I want the cheapest thing possible, I'm like, I'm not your guy. I'm not the guy that can help you out when you're just looking for something on price. That's not even the game that I play. We're talking about surfing, you're talking about volleyball. Two totally different things, all right? Very calm about it, never being a jerk. But here's the thing, I'm still gonna ask for references. I'm still gonna say, well, who can I help out? And there's gonna be a point where sometimes guys will say, you know what, you're not the right guy for me, but my friend's the right guy for you, here's his phone number, right? So keep going in the process. Why not ask? Why not ask for that information, and why not gather it, okay? So just know you can be forensic about your rejections and the rejection process you have. There's always something to learn. There's no such thing as a wasted sales call. I made this mistake when I first got into sales, thinking, hey, I wasted a bunch of time with this person, when I should have been thinking, hey, there's something that I could have figured out and done better, and I probably missed something in my sales process. That's why I go off of a checklist when I get done with my calls. That's why I go off a checklist if I'm talking to a client on the phone or through Skype, and I figure out everything that I'm supposed to do and supposed to ask. And if I don't do that, I know that I'm missing my process. I know that I'm gonna have an issue in the end, okay? So be forensic about your rejection. It's really gonna help you out. It's gonna make your process better. It's not gonna feel like super good today, right, if you don't make the sale, but moving forward in the future, it's kind of like going to the gym and starting out and bench pressing 150 pounds and then going to 175, then to 200. You build a muscle, and that's what you gotta do. Now, if you could do a small favor for me, in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story. That would be fantastic. To the right or to the left, there is a subscribe button. You do know what you're supposed to do today. You are supposed to subscribe. And then you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, why not even LinkedIn? Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.